Welcome to Social Gravity. My name is Vic, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to create the framework for an infinite social media formula. And what I mean by that is I want to be giving you the tools to not only create the content, but also define what content is going to work best for you, and then take that best content and create it at scale. And I want to show you how to create hundreds of pieces of content easily. So here's the formula I want to give to you. But before we start, please subscribe to our channel. It means so much to me. Like this video and stay tuned for the next video in the series. If it's not out yet, hang tight. It'll be out soon, but there will be more pieces of content that come alongside of this to give our entire formula that I'll go over more at the end. So stay tuned to the end of the video, and I'll be giving you something for free that will be so worth it. So again, my name is Vic from Social Gravity. Let's get learning. Let's jump over to the slide deck. Let's jump right into it. What do we got to say? So the first thing you want to do, being probably a business owner or even an agency or a freelancer doing and creating content for a brand, you want to research your industry from scratch. I don't care if you think you know everything about the industry, or you've been in the industry for 30 years, or you're 3 generations deep on this family business. It really doesn't matter, because social media is an entirely different playing field. Things go viral, things get more popular, trends happen, especially in specific industries. Like, for example, I bet you didn't know, if you're a house painter, that there's like a huge wave of house painting videos with people with like spray gunning these houses with paint. It's nuts. You want to do your research on the industry in regards to social media. So, I mean, that's number one out the gate. Put your ego aside. It doesn't matter what you think you know, because the internet is an ever-changing beast, and that's who you're trying to appeal to, is the market on the internet. So it's always changing in every industry. So what are the 5 top reasons for researching? Let's just go a little bit in depth on that. We want to understand who your content is for. So if you don't really know exactly the target demographic you're trying to reach, I mean, it's going to be hard to speak their language. So you really want to know who you are trying to make content for. And with that, where do they hang out? Like, are they in social media groups on Facebook, like Mommy Market and Daddy Market? Are they in those conversations? Or are they on Pinterest, pinning things up? Are they on Instagram, living on the Explore feed, staying current with like Fortnite and stuff? Like, where are they hanging out online? And if you can understand who they are, you can start to really understand where they hang out, what groups, who they follow, etc. It gets kind of clear from here. What content is actually engaging to them? So what is the actual content on the platform you found them on? What is the content that they are being attracted to? So is it going to be, like I said, like some Fortnite content? Is that what they're into? Or are they into like recipe cards on Pinterest, and they make recipe boards on Pinterest? What exactly are the pieces of content that they like? So we want to identify that. What are your biggest competitors doing? And I mean, like, if you have a little TV shop, what is Sony posting on Instagram? You know, what are they doing that creates such a buzz? Because those are the channels that actually have the biggest budgets. They have the most clout. They have the most data, the most research, the best professionals working on their content. So we really want to piggyback off of what they're doing, because if they're putting it out into the market, it's definitely calculated to a certain degree. So we want to just like really take a scan over our biggest competitors online. And it doesn't have to be some big brand. It could really be like an influencer in your marketplace that is just killing it, that is everywhere. And seeing what type of content they're doing, and then kind of creating it for ourselves. And this will give us ideas for content categories. So a content category is more like it's really a category. Like there's no other word for it. A category that we've defined a piece of content to be. So if it's photography of your staff, like that is a category of content. If it is tutorials, it is a category of content. So we really want to define categories by looking at what our competitors are doing. So we really want to, once we understand the marketplace, put yourself in their shoes. Hopefully you are so ingrained in your marketplace that you find yourself to be one of the people that you are making your content for. If that's the case, your job is way easier. But in some situations in business, you are not the person that you serve. You're actually a different breed of person than the person that you're targeting. You might understand them really well, and you might know how to work with them, but you might not be that person. So you want to put yourself in the shoes of the avatar that we just defined through all of your research. So again, what platform do they use the most? Is it Instagram? Is it Pinterest? Is it Twitter? Where are they? What do they like on social media, and what do they not like? You know, what are they drawn to, and what are they not drawn to? And this is a really big one. It doesn't matter if they're primarily on Instagram or not. Instagram is such a incredible source of what is relevant and what is happening because of the explore page that is always being updated. So if you go on the explore page on your Instagram app, it's just that little magnifying glass at the bottom. You will see all the biggest, most viral posts, and you can actually go at the top by industry and pick the industry that your market would have on their explore page and see exactly what are the biggest posts happening right now on Instagram in that industry. So what is on their explore page? What is Instagram feeding them through the algorithm? Those are the pieces of content and the content categories that we want to identify, organize, and then create. So step one, like I said, identifying who your target audience is. Let's get a little more in depth on who that person is. And this is just fundamental marketing stuff, really, when it comes down to it. So what is their gender? What is their age? Pick like a 20 or maybe a 10-year bracket of age, maybe 18 to 28, maybe 35 to 55, an age range that makes sense. What are their interests? So if they are like a fan of Nike, they're probably interested in soccer and basketball and LeBron James and etc. So what are their interests? What are the pages on Facebook that they probably like? You know, what are some things they say? So let's take that example of someone who likes Nike. They're probably saying like, that's lit, or like, that's dope. And they're saying things like that. So we want to understand how they say things in order to speak their language, because they definitely have a language when it comes down to it. Then we want to think about these other things. So I'll just spit them out really quick. Places they go. So where do they go? Where are their favorite places to go? Is it the club? Is it the mall? Is it Wonderland? I don't know. Where do they go? Where do they want to go? What do they spend money on? This is huge. Hopefully, this is your product. I mean, if it's your product, then you're winning something, right? What do they share on social media? So what are the things? What are the topics? What are the articles that they are pushing to their friends? What do they have to do with? What are their ethics? What are the political views? These are things you want to know. And also you want to know what they don't agree with. So things to stay away from, right? If you're dealing with like an older generation and you bring up like marijuana legalization, like I'm talking like older, you're probably going to feel a little resistance. Where if you're talking to, someone who is younger and into, gaming and stuff, you're probably not going to feel the same resistance. So what do they not agree with? You need to know this stuff. So let's jump back into our competition, because our competition, again, is probably one of our most valuable resources when doing research for your content that you're going to be putting out on your social media channels. So who are the industry leaders And this is how we're going to go ahead and find these industry leaders. Just some examples of ways to do it. I mean, there's so many ways to do it, but let's look at the ways that we here at Social Gravity do this research. So the Instagram Explorer page, I already explained how valuable it is, how current it is. It's an incredible measurement because the Instagram algorithm is so precise and it knows you and the people in that community so well, based on your behaviors, on the immense amount of data that they have to identify what posts are the biggest, the best, the most engaging, the most attracting. And it's really hard to cheat the Instagram algorithm. So there's not a lot of phony posts on that Explore page. So pay attention to the Explore page on Instagram. And sticking with Instagram, but going a different route, we're going to just Google, the biggest pages in X niche. So what are the biggest travel photographers on Instagram? What are the biggest clothing brands on Instagram? What are the biggest construction companies on Instagram? These are going to be listed by people in blog posts, because for those people making these lists, it is easy traffic to their website, which is what they want. So they're making blog posts based on certain industries, listing a bunch of Instagram pages that are big. This is just a ticket for you to cut your travel time in half or in a quarter and really just jump to big pages on Instagram and follow them. And then you can actually just be on their profile. And right beside the follow button, there will be a little arrow. Hit that arrow down and you'll see a bunch of pages that are relevant to those pages. That's another way that you can use these as a starting point to build that. Follow all these pages, follow all your competition. Another way we can find exactly who is our competition and who are these industry leaders is if we do a YouTube search on tutorials in that industry. So, say it's construction and we want to know how to find a bearing wall in our house. If we go and we do like bearing walls search tutorial on YouTube, you're going to find that like literally like Home Hardware, Lowe's, all these big companies actually have YouTube tutorials teaching construction techniques because they understand that they need to be in that space in order to dominate. So we want to pick up off of these massive channels. I mean, there's going to be small guys here and there, but you will find the smaller guys probably have, 60,000, 75,000, 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Those are the people we want to be paying attention to. A really, really good way to see who the industry leaders are is to join Facebook groups in the industry and pay attention to who is verified within those groups or who are the moderators in those groups. Very good information in there. And then we can piggyback off of that and do a little digging on their personal side and then their business and gather research points from there. And then this is a super obvious one, Twitter hashtags. They've been around forever. If you just, hashtag construction, I don't know, you can sort it by the top, the most popular, and then just see from there. I mean, that is an archaic way to do things, but it still works. So I didn't want to leave it out here. So we need to really define who our industry leaders are, and then what is engaging to your audience. So let's dive into that. So we want to aim to find only really high engaging content. So content with genuine comments, with genuine conversation, with lots of shares, with a virality factor, a factor of I need to be the first person to show my friends this. That is what we're trying to aim for. And we also want to aim for content that can be multiplied, because at the end of the day, we're going to be aiming to make a ton of content. So we can't be like, okay, we're aiming at this one like super cinematic high budget skit and it's one piece of content. That's just not going to fly. We need to be able to create dozens and dozens upon dozens pieces of content at the same time to push it out as a mass campaign. So we need to find content that fits into categories that we can create on our own and multiply infinitely. And I have examples of those. So stay in this video. And by the end of the video, I'll tell you my examples for very easy content categories you can replicate. Next thing we want to do, once we find the content that works for us, we want to take screenshots of our favorites and compile them into a folder. Or we can go on Pinterest and start creating Pinterest boards of content that way. So we want to organize the content that we believe is going to work in our favor the most. So what is a content category? I've mentioned it a little bit. I've kind of explained it a little bit, but let's really dive in depth at what a content category is. Now, a content category, like I said before, is a way we categorize a piece of content. So say it is a quote card and it's a beautiful photo in the background and it has this quote. It's on a Christian religious page and it's a quote from the Bible. This is called a quote card. Let's give another example. We would do promotions for one of our clients, and if they were having a sale, we'd make a nice graphic design template and we would put the text right on it. And that stuff actually works. That stuff really works. It gets shared if you're speaking the right language, and if you make it look beautiful, it works. So that's one. I will give you that one. Is very easy. Another category of content could be, like I mentioned before, Fortnite. Like if someone's a Fortnite streamer and they're just gaming all the time, and then they make compilations of their best clips and they put in like a 1-minute video and they put it out. Doesn't take much time to do that. That is a category of content. You could call it like a mini montage or something like that. So categorizing content really comes down to us defining about, 5 or 6 different categories in which we are going to base our content around. And then it becomes just a numbers game of, if we want to do 3 months worth of content every single day, that's 90 posts. And if we're trying to do 6 content categories, I think that's 15 posts per content category. So when you start breaking it down, it's like, okay, I only need 15 of these Fortnite montages. I can body that. I can do that so easily. I only need 15 quotes. Yeah, let me run a Google search and I'll find you 15 quotes. Just go and make them for me. This is why content categories is OP, because we can easily get to 90 pieces of content through our categories. We easily organize and create mass amounts of content, as a previous version of myself said wisely. So step 4 is creating the content categories. This is just running through, exactly what I just said. So take the content we found, identify how we can categorize it. Here's some samples. So I'm going to go over a couple more samples for you. The quote cards that I mentioned, product information I mentioned, promotions, photography of products, questions or polls, testimonials, motivational quote cards, Fortnite videos. Like I said, if you're into that, if you could give away an ebook and that could be a piece of content, and you can say that can be one of your content categories, pushing your ebook, and you have it 15 times in your calendar, that totally works. That totally works 100%. You need to make your own custom content category list in order for this strategy to pan out in your favor. So now it comes down to creating the batches of content, which we are not going to cover in this video specifically, but we will in other videos. And actually, if this video is one piece of a much bigger puzzle on a system that we use here at Social Gravity to pump out tons of content. I'm talking thousands of pieces of content per month for an array of different clients, and it works like a charm. And we have raging reviews from our clients and also their customers on their social media. And it's all part of a much bigger strategy. And that strategy is actually outlined for free for you in our ebook that we just put out. It's the 3 simple steps to post social media content every single day on autopilot. I just laid out one of the 3 steps for you today. You can very easily download this at socialgravity.co/download. And I would really appreciate you go checking it out. Again, if you haven't liked this video, subscribe to this channel, drop a comment on something you learned or something you want to share. Please do now. And again, jump to another video on our channel. Whatever videos pop up in the next little screen, I would love it. I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really hope that I gave you some value today. Our goal here is to just provide a ton of value, not ask for anything really in return. So there you go. Have a great day. My name is Vic from Social Gravity. I will see you later.